and 84 need to be taken up today. These are items on the Assembly third reading file. Assembly third reading. We will bring up file item 83. Senator Correa, are you prepared to present? You are. Then we'll ask the Secretary to please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 40 by Assemblymember Solario relative to Vietnamese American history.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senators. ACR 40 acknowledges the historical importance of Black April and declares April Vietnamese American Month. We will always mourn the tragedy of the Vietnam War 36 years ago, but we also want to acknowledge and remember the contributions of a displaced immigrant community. It's clear that Vietnamese Americans today have contributed positively to the American and California landscape. I ask for an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Blakesley. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Rubio. Runner. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee, aye. May I call?
Call the absent voters. Members, one moment, please. Call the absent voters.
Blakesley. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Huff. Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Price. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Mr. President.
Ayes 38, noes 0. The resolution is adopted. Members, that takes us to file item 84. File item 84. Senator Calderon, are you prepared to take up this item?
I am.
Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 125 by the Assembly Committee on Insurance, an act relating to insurance and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, AB 125 is an Assembly Insurance Committee urgency bill whose adoption is needed to correct a drafting error from the Department of Insurance's 2010 omnibus bill having to do with gap insurance. AB 125 has broad support, no known opposition. There's an urgency to send this bill to the governor today. Therefore, I request your aye vote and, upon passage, be prepared for immediate transmittal to the governor.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Berryhill. Blakesley. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian.
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Huff. Aye. Blakesley. Aye. Berryhill. Aye.
Ayes 40, noes 0 on the urgency. Ayes 40, noes 0 on the bill. The bill is passed. Members, we've had a request from a handful of authors who have items remaining on the file to complete the file. There are only 4 or 5 items remaining on today's file. Before we do that, we will go back and lift the call and close out the vote on file item 56. File item 56, please. Lift the call and call the absent members.
Calderon. De Leon. Padilla. Runner.
Call the absent members.
Calderon. De Leon. Padilla. Runner.
Call the absent members.
Calderon. De Leon. Padilla.
Ayes 24. Excuse me. Ayes 24. Noes 12. The bill is passed. Members, that takes us back to file item 57 under Senate third reading. That is Semidian. Pass. 58. Senator Liu. Pass. 59. Senator Corbett. Pass. File item 60. Senator McGrady-McLeod.
Senate Bill 578 by Senator Negrete-McLeod, an act relating to schools.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. Senate Bill 578 seeks to increase the number of foster youth who obtain their high school diploma in a timely manner, enabling these youths to graduate with their peers. The bill requires each public school district and county office of education to issue and accept full or partial credits for coursework satisfactorily completed by a dependent or a ward while attending a public school, a juvenile court school, or non-public, non-sectarian school, or an agency to be applied to core curriculum and graduation requirements. SB 578 has received bipartisan support. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Blakesley. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Tedlew. Aye. Carolou. Aye. Lowenthal. Negrete-McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Aye. Yee. Yee. Aye.
Call the absent members.
Huff. Lowenthal. Lowenthal, aye. Wyland. Wyland, aye. Just want to make sure.
Ayes 39, noes 0. The bill is passed. File item 61, Senator Alquist, pass. File item 62, Senator Padilla, pass. Members, that completes the third reading file. Senator Steinberg, we had one item under governor's appointments. Do you wish to take that item up today? That was file item 22. Yes? Okay. Secretary,
Yes,
please,
yes.
Secretary, please read.
Thank you very much.
No? Thank you. Mr. President, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the nomination of Kay Reagan Evans as a member of the Court Reporters Board. This was approved 5-0 on the 13th of April by the Rules Committee. There's no opposition. I'd ask an aye vote.
Members, is there any objection to using our unanimous roll call on this item? Without objection, ayes 40, noes 0. The appointment is approved. Members, that leaves us with a consent calendar, but before we go there, I know that Senator Lowenthal has an adjourn in memory. Senator Lowenthal, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, I have the sad duty to inform you that a former member of the Assembly, just before we left for spring break, former Assembly member Bob Epple passed away after a protracted illness, leukemia. Bob was elected first to the Cerritos Community College, which was his passion in life, Board of Governors in 1981, and then in 1988, Bob became Assembly member, Bob Epple, and represented the areas of Cerritos, Downey, Lakewood, Paramount, that general area in southeastern Los Angeles County, between 1988 and 1994 in the California State Assembly. During the time, his legislation was on reforming how textbooks were purchased. He introduced legislation on requiring motorcyclists to wear helmets, and also worked on how utility rate cases were filed. He left the legislature in 1994 and was very active in his community in a variety of community agencies and community boards of directors. His first wife, Cheryl, had been elected in the early 1990s to the Cerritos College Board of Trustees, and when she'd passed away suddenly in 2004, Assemblymember Epple returned to the Cerritos College Board of Governors and served, being reelected in 2005 after having been appointed by the board, and then was reelected in 2009. He passed away suddenly, as I mentioned, after an illness on April 15th. He leaves his second wife, Colleen, and his daughter, Nicole. We will miss him greatly in the district. I ask for us to adjourn in his memory.
Thank you, Senator Lowenthal. Please convey the sympathies to the family and friends on behalf of the Senate, as well as our thanks for the many years of public service to the entire family. Members, if we have no other items under motions and resolutions, we do have two items on the consent calendar. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 373 and Senate Bill 637.
Members, these are our two consent calendar items. Is there any objection to using the unanimous roll call? These are consent. Without objection, ayes 40, noes 0. The consent calendar is approved. If there is no other business, Senator Steinberg, the desk is clear.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Committees, I know, will convene here after session. Committees tomorrow, Wednesday, session Thursday at 9 o'clock. Check in Tuesday, Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. Then the Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Thursday at 9 a.m. We stand in recess.